Plans to visit the border?
Not today, but I have before, and I'm sure I will again.
She just laughed at it. She was like, I'm not going there today.
No, that wasn't a laugh. That was a cackle.
Yeah, a witch-like cackle. She rather enjoys than that there are tens of, maybe hundreds of thousands of people suffering at the border as we speak. And same with Joe Biden when he's being asked, I don't know when I'm going there. So that's just, they don't care. The Democrats have this whole thing. And this is the other thing I wanted to mention about the talking points. Kamala Harris says, we adopted this situation. Like, what? Trump was building a wall. If, like, why would you stop the wall construction if you want to stop the problem?
What they're saying is that Biden is doing this to thin out the reds, basically, to thin out the red states. And he's just literally shipping Democrats to red states. And if that were true, man, we need to find these numbers somehow. Problem is, even in Texas, the Texas governor doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't know who's going where, to what city, to what county, what their names are. He keeps asking for the numbers, and the Biden administration keeps like stalemating them. So if the governor of the state that's actually on the border can't get the numbers, man, imagine guys like us, dude, or any kind of fucking reporters, dude. They're not giving shit to anybody, bro. I don't understand.
Yeah,
I understand. They're getting away with murder right now, dude. Literally, dude.
Yeah, that reminds me of the very first video I want to share today is Ted Cruz at the border. We ready to jump into this? Because what's super crazy about what Joe Biden has been doing with this whole immigration situation is he has told the media to just no cameras at any of these facilities. You get some sound here.
It's terrific that John and I were able to bring 18 senators.
Yeah, 18 senators go down on the border, and 18 senators are saying to these border facilities, let us in with a camera crew. And these border facilities are saying, nope, Joe Biden says we can't let any camera into this building.
Down to Texas, down to the valley to see firsthand the crisis that is unfolding here. All of us today witnessed the Biden cages.
Come back. Technology. Biden cages.
What is occurring here on the border is heartbreaking. And
what was that?
That just pisses me off, man. I mean, like, yeah. Why would they send 18 senators down there for just some like photo op kind of nonsense? Like, they need to be doing something. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know, dude. There has to be, like I said before, some kind of like citizen uprising where like Americans literally drive down to the freaking border and stand as a physical barrier, man. There's no other way. What are we going to do? They're going to just overrun us. They're literally invading right now. This is literally called an invasion, bro.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because that actually happened 2019 when the border wall was within 100 miles or within 50 miles of being finished, and when the caravans are still trying to make it up to the border, there was a group of citizens in Mexico trying to stop people from going into the United States. There were Mexicans trying to stop these caravans going up to the United States. So yeah, people in the United States do that. And you see that with photo op. One thing I'll give Ted Cruz credit to about this whole thing and the other senators involved is this is an information campaign. This is him trying to get the word out to the American people, and it's our job to do something about it. And then he details why it's so much of a problem. here in the rest of this presser.
And it is a tragedy. You know, as we stand by the banks of the Rio Grande, we have an army of TV cameras here. It is striking that not a single one of these cameras is allowed in the Donna facility. We requested that media accompany us in the facility. The Biden administration said no. The Trump administration had allowed media inside facilities like that. The Obama administration had allowed media inside facilities like that. The George W. Bush administration had. The Bill Clinton administration had. But the Biden administration wants to hide what is going on here. Not only that, but a number of us took pictures and took videos because the American people have a right to know what is happening here. And the Biden administration sent down political handlers to try to keep silent, to try to keep the American people not knowing what's going on. The Donna facility is a giant tent city. Built with a capacity of 250, it has nearly 4,000 people in it. We saw cages after cages after cages of little girls, of little boys, lying side by side, touching each other, covered with reflective emergency blankets. There was no 6-foot space, there was no 3-foot space, there wasn't a 3-inch space between the children lined up one after the other after the other. And children as young as infants. We saw playpens with infants and toddlers playing. We also saw a group of children who just today tested positive for COVID-19. The Donna facility alone reports roughly 10% of the individuals being held there are testing positive for COVID-19. Rates dramatically higher than the U.S. population, and the Biden administration is taking people who are testing positive for COVID-19 and locking them in cages side by side. This is inhumane, it is wrong, and it is the direct consequence of policy decisions by the Biden administration to stop building the wall, to return to catch and release, and to end the stay in Mexico policy. A number of us are releasing those photographs and releasing those videos so the American people can see what's happening here. This needs to stop. It is a crisis, it is a tragedy, and it is a man-made crisis. This was avoidable, this was preventable. And regardless of your party, Republican or Democrat, you should look at what's going on here and say enough is enough, this must stop.
Thanks to Breitbart for that video. Yeah, and Ted Cruz mentioned it. This whole thing is occurring because Biden has reversed the back to Mexico policy and has halted the construction of the wall. So how does, as this is the video you brought up, how does Joe Biden respond to all of this?
On the ground, President Biden making some big claims about the border that aren't entirely lining up with the facts.
I guess I should be flattered. People are coming because I'm the nice guy. 28% increase in children to the border in my administration. 31% in the last year of in 2019 before the pandemic in the Trump administration. It happens every single solitary year. The vast majority.
I'm back. So it happens every single year. What do you think of that?
Oh my God, man. Really? Well, first of all, didn't we talk about this before where the Democrat media, the left media was like spurring it on all through the Trump years, like literally like goading them. Come on, guys. Come on. It's okay. Trump's in office. We got you. Mm-hmm. So, and they did it on purpose. If you look at that clip with Biden, you can automatically see their whole game plan unfold with his stupid, old, forgetful rhetoric. I mean, he has no idea what he's doing, obviously, right? So,
yeah.
So that's why they control him so much. I mean, this press conference said a lot, man. It said a lot. So anyways, my point is that like all those years that Trump was in office, Biden is basically saying, look, they had 31% all of those years, 30% all those years, and we only have like 21%, or what did he say? 21%. And well, with that, just with him using that as an argument, as his defense,
shows his true uh, uh, purpose, or their true purpose
Yeah, you brought up a good
behind
point.
what they were doing.
Yeah, you brought up a good
2019.
point. In 2019, during the primaries, they were talking about how time to come up to the United States is now. Come on up, and they were advertising a lot of free
When you
things.
say they, who's they? Who's they?
The
The media
Democrats
and the
and the
Democrat
Democrats,
legislators.
which were
The
lockstep.
media and the Democrat legislators. Exactly. They
Yeah,
were both trumpeting that, and that's how they work together. It's crazy, dude. Crazy, man.
yeah. So
It's fucking
why we're having this border crisis now is obviously the invitation was sent, and why not? They get here, they get more than just uh, uh, access to the United States, and it's clean
Yeah,
street.
well, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want to come here? Seriously, that's what I was telling you the day before. Like,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they want to come here? I mean, they got everything handed to them, like on a gold freaking platter, bro. Like, it doesn't get any better. Free healthcare, free school, free babysitters, free cars, free small business loans to start up a company, free car loans with certain companies, with free private schools. If it's a Catholic school, they'll and if it's a Catholic school, dude, there's a school near me locally. I'm not going to say it, but it's a Catholic school, Saint something or others. And if you're undocumented or if you're brown skinned, you can go to that school, private school, bro, private school. That's good education and it's costly. For white people, you can't go to that school for free.
Right.
But they can. When I found this out, I was so pissed off, dude, because I got a very bright, beautiful, wonderful, pure-spirited little boy that I would love to have in a good school, man. But because we're white, what? Seriously, like that. And what's crazy is that his mom is Mexican, but he is so white complexioned that they automatically like float him in my category. And even I'm not fully white, bro. I'm half Italian, half Chilean. So like these people are retarded, dude. They keep trying to like divide and categorize this person, that person, and that person. And anyways, like with regards to the immigration talk, that's kind of what the left is doing. They're categorizing these immigrants as all children.
Which
They're
is
poor
not accurate.
children
It's
or
not accurate.
women or pregnant women. I mean, come on, dude. You've seen the footage.
Right.
We're gonna show the footage because it's just a sea of men. It's a sea of men. And finally, Fox is talking about it a little bit about how no, actually on the 5, no, actually that it's actually 17 and 16-year-old older teenage boys. Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're not children. 16 and 17-year-old boys from like Guatemala and Honduras have tattoos and have already killed people. They've already gone through all that shit. They've already started their puberty at like 12. Dude. So by 16 and 17, no, really, because that's really all they have down there, man. They don't have anything else to do except for soccer, drugs, and women. That's what children, that's all children have down there. I'm not kidding you, dude. I'm not trying to be, dude. I come from a South American family. I know this. There's nothing else to do down there, dude. There's nothing else to do except for and then work. But because the unemployment is so high down there, people also don't even work. So like they've got nothing else to do down there. So the deviancy starts to go up slowly down there.
Right.
And so what are they doing? Their 16 and 17-year-old boys, quote unquote, are coming up here with bandanas and their MS-13 like Salvatrucha like tattoos and shit. Like, oh yeah, no big deal. They're not vaccinated. They don't have they may or may not have COVID. They may or may not be terrorists actually from Syria or from Lebanon or from Kuwait or Iraq. We don't know because they look exactly the same, right? Don't they? I mean, come on. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. People think I'm Middle Eastern with this big honking Roman Italian nose, dude. But I'm actually different races, man, and I confuse everyone because of that. So what's to say that they're not confusing them down there when they're in a big gigantic boat of of 30 people, and they're not going to interview them all. They're just going to be like, and then that's it. They don't know how to speak English, and that's it. That's
Well,
it.
well, you mentioned, yeah, you mentioned interview. That's the other thing too. There is a media embargo on coverage of this, and just to highlight really quickly, because this is important. Ted Cruz mentioned this, but I'll repeat this because it's important for people. Biden blocks press access at border, constructs false narratives. Most important part: Biden blocks press access at border. So, uh, as you mentioned,
That's crazy. No, wait. Before you move on, like
yeah,
I don't know if you were gonna go there, but I'll say the same, or I'll say what I'm thinking you may have said. Biden blocks press access at border.
right,
Press access, border, and Biden blocking are three taboo subjects that he literally he showed himself to already be that kind of character during the campaign, and now he's doing just that.
right,
He's demolishing the border. He is
yeah,
he's literally blocking press freedom, which segues into the fact that just literally a month or two ago, Biden and the administration requested the United Kingdom an appeal with the United Kingdom Magistrate's Office for the extradition of, or for the refusal of the extradition of Julian Assange. So not only does Biden now want to block press access at the border, but guess what day uh, the bail was refused and denied for Julian Assange this year? Guess what day?
wasn't it like the day after Biden was sworn in?
No,
What day?
January 6th.
Oh, misdirection. Yeah, big things happened that day.
Crazy. I told you that what happened with Henry Kissinger the day after 9/11. Remember that on that
Yeah,
Sunday?
yeah.
Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that crazy how that shit happens, dude? Isn't that crazy, bro? Like it doesn't even get any more coincidental than that, bro.
No, his narratives were, oh, it happens every year, but actually this year, there's all these photo ops that people at the border did. There's this flag being waved at the Tijuana border. Here's another photo op. But something I just want to establish about this photo op, there's one little girl, one little boy, and then like elsewhere, like over here somewhere, there's another little girl. But this is just everyone in front. If you look behind this crowd of people wearing Biden shirts, mostly men. It's mostly men. And this is like who they could scrap together to make it look like their families at the border. And it's just exactly what you said. There is an issue at the border, and stats to back this up, that it's like 80% of people coming up through the border are men, and that's because they come up here, make their money here, and then send their money back home to whatever either Central or South American country they're from. And yeah, the narrative of it's just women and children is completely false.
Yeah, those are called remittances.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever they send money back home, they're called remittances. And every year, we actually contribute to a large chunk of the Mexican GDP just off of remittances.
So, we see all these people at the border with the shirts, these photo ops, trying to present the narrative that Joe Biden is somehow some humane person by bringing the stats. I've seen an average of 3,000 people a day into the United States from south of the border, which is sextuple the amount of people a day under Trump, and Trump still had the turnaway policy. And it gets worse. Not only are the people
You
coming
know,
in.
you want to know what the new number is?
Oh, it's gone up. What's the new number?
Yep. 5,000.
5,000 a day.
5,000 a day.
5,000 a day. So 5 times 30.
5,000 a day.
35,000 a month? No, that's not right. 350,000 people a month? Then that's absurd. That's absurd. But we asked
Yeah, if that happened.
but we talked about before, why not? And there's more to it. $4.3 billion designated for undocumented immigrants, with an official 56 million being sent to immigrants at the border. And that source is Epoch Times, Epic Times. I always pronounce it incorrectly. And housing is also being given to immigrants. And there's this whole other thing, on a whole nother layer to it, is COVID vaccines are being given for free to some of these immigrants. And that was being done without Governor Abbott's knowledge. And, COVID vaccines, that's stuff, and housing, that's stuff that greatly affect the American people, something we're greatly aware of, and especially in the state of California. But for some reason, it's a joke. This is the last video I'm going to share as I'm doing this, but this is the stomach churner for me, and to me, this completely encompasses the attitude the left has had over this whole thing. There's an ad playing. I'm gonna wait for this ad to finish, and that's one of the frustrating things about doing it live. We got ads. But yeah, so this is how Democrats have been handling this whole thing. And
Visit the border?
Not today. But I have before, and I'm sure I will again. Yeah.
Well, Martha, on the border, there's obviously a lot of political pressure coming from Republicans in particular on this administration, but also some of the Democrats who represent some of those border districts. What can the administration do, at least in the short term, to kind of assure people that it's really taking steps to make sure that the children in particular, are being treated humanely, but also that you're sort of, thinking about the bigger picture weeks and months ahead?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we were left with a very challenging situation. And, let me start by saying I think we all agree, and Secretary Mayorkas said it a number of times this weekend, let's get these kids out of CBP custody, get them into HHS custody. We've got to treat this issue in a way that is reflective of our values as Americans, and do it in a way that is fair and it is humane. But we have to meet the moment, and there's a lot of work going into that.
all right, can't take much more of that. In a nutshell, Kamala Harris.
All she is talking points, bro. All she is talking points. She is such a disgusting, slimy, typical legalistic politician, and I cannot believe these idiots in this country voted for her. Because originally they didn't even want her. They gave her the boot out of the Democratic primaries. So why the heck did they vote her in for vice president? What's wrong with these people, dude? What is wrong with these people? Do they not have brains of their own? Like,
yeah,
okay, we didn't like her during the primaries, but we love her during Trump, during the general. Like, does that make sense?
No. You mentioned before she bottomed out at a 0.04%, not even a 1% approval rating, and she had to drop out. She didn't even make it to like the top 5 candidates in the primaries.
She was dead last. Dead last. I mean, top 5. She was dead last, dude. She was literally dead last. Like, no one else had a lower score than her.
Okay. Well, additional sort of talking points. She laughs.
Yeah, there was that certain points where she like jumped up to like I think like 10%, but then jumped all the way back down, and that's when she dropped out when she was dead last.
Yeah, Saturday
And
Night
that's all
Live
that matters.
couldn't even save her.
It's what they drop out at. That's what matters.
Right, but
That's what matters. It doesn't matter, you know.
yeah, additional to the
Sorry.
talking points is she just laughed at it. She was like, I'm not going there today.
No, that wasn't a laugh. That was a cackle.
Yeah, a witch-like cackle. She rather enjoys than that there are tens of maybe hundreds of thousands of people suffering at the border as we speak. And same with Joe Biden when he's being asked, I don't know when I'm going there. So that's just, they don't care. The Democrats have this whole thing. And it's the other thing I wanted to mention about the talking points. Kamala Harris says, we adopted this situation. Like, what? Trump was building a wall. If like, why would you stop the wall construction if you want to stop the problem?
Thing is you know what I'm not doing properly is because I just can't take it anymore. Is I was trying to stay up on leftist news by watching it so that I can know what's going on over there, because they say a lot of lies to like the Hispanics, you know, like Telemundo and Galavisión, like they do obviously propaganda on those, and like they do a lot of Democrat propaganda. But you have to watch it, because if you don't watch it, like they'll slip in a lot of lies, and then you won't even know what to argue with these moron people. Like,
right. Brings us to this question: why are the Democrats doing this? And I'll just start with another quick observation. I forgot about this other video I had to share, but just observation-wise, they are bringing I mean Border Patrol agents are just bringing vans full. I have to let this ad play out. Vans full of people into small towns, and just dropping them off and setting them free. So I'm going to share this video of just a perfect example of that.
The crisis
Hey, can you hear that?
at the border continues tonight, and the effects are rippling across our state. Good evening, everybody. I'm Yetta Gibson.
And I'm Brandon
Lee.
Loads of migrants are being dropped off with nowhere to go down in Gila Bend. We have team coverage for you tonight, and we want to begin that coverage with our Brianna Whitney, who's there in Gila Bend.
The mayor declared a state of emergency in Gila Bend tonight after 16 more migrants were dropped off here yesterday. You know, this is a town of only 2,000 people. They have no hospitals, no shelters. The mayor says simply they don't have the resources and they don't see an end in sight. 16 migrants were dropped off by Customs and Border Patrol in town at this park. Families from Venezuela and Chile with young children. Gila Bend Mayor Chris Riggs says he and his wife ended up using loaned vans to drive the families themselves to this welcome center in Phoenix so they would have a safe place to stay. The mayor says last week Senator Kyrsten Sinema helped turn a bus of migrants around right before it got to Gila Bend with 30 people on board. He says to get migrants into town outside of government transportation, they need to be COVID tested, and the town doesn't have the money to afford that. Riggs says Border Patrol told them to expect this to keep happening, which worries the mayor as Arizona is heading toward its hot summer months.
They said that it would be easy for us to see 2 drops per week.
For a year.
Oh, this is indefinite. To drop people in basically the middle of nowhere, it's 30 miles to the next type of town, and that's 30 miles of open desert. So especially come July and August, we're going to be finding bodies.
In a vague statement, Border Patrol says they are protecting the health and safety of the migrants.
All right. So, Gila Bend, like most Arizona, just like most of Texas, it's a town on the border, 30 miles from any other town in the middle of the desert. And it's a small town, a town of less than 2,000 people, now being flooded with 30 immigrants a day. That adds up. And the people arriving there don't have anywhere to go. So the mayor took it upon himself to take these people to a welcoming center in Phoenix, which is, a hefty drive away. And again, a border patrol just dropping off saying, "Good luck. Just hope you survive." And these immigrants have no knowledge of transportation systems in the United States, and often, like the Gila Bend mayor said, just end up um, walking around these deserts and end up dying in like the Arizona and Texas heat. So again, that's another example of these Democrats not caring about these people who are coming up from south of the border here. And just one more thing to share, because it was mentioned in the video, that the town of Gila Bend, again, not less than 2,000 people, not a wealthy town by any means, was taken upon themselves to COVID test the people within coming into their cities. An example by the Western Journal. Democrats block GOP bill requiring illegal immigrants to be tested for COVID. So what we have now in these, I'll just point out, Republican cities, not only are they being flooded with people who would likely vote for a Democrat again because they were invited by a Democrat administration to come into their country, they're being flooded with people who are potentially COVID positive because the Democrats blocked a bill to COVID test people immigrating into the United States. So now these red states are being attacked biologically by potentially COVID positive people. And I'm not saying that that it's an atrocity that we have humanitarian efforts in this country to help take care of people, but I am saying it's an atrocity that we are allowing such a high number of people to risk their lives to cross these borders. How we had a president who was investing in infrastructure to prevent people dying in the desert, and then this new administration just to come in and just throw that all away is just a real sad thing.